Hi, right then, since we're not allowed to go out and we've got to stay away from everybody, I thought I'd make a couple of videos with regards to competition hair, because that's why not? You can play. Right, okay, doc. So I always have with me in my bag the little spray bottles. Swear by this for the hairspray because it glues everything in, and also for any jewels or anything that needs to be attached to the hair, get some of this as well. Like Herne Bargains, I think it was about £2.95, something like that. But it literally glues everything in. Okay. The other thing that I like, and I use quite a lot when I'm doing the hairs, is the frizzy stuff as well. Okay. So that keeps everything nice and sleek as well. Alright, so what I'm going to do first of all is going to do a standard middle parting, so to speak. Kate doesn't like her, she likes have a bit of movement in the front, so it covers a little bit of her forehead, and then we're going to go straight into it because she has got a big forehead, really. So you can go straight into doing a standard bun, okie doke. So, first of all, don't do it on clean hair. That's the first and foremost.
It's been a few days in the making,
as you can tell. So, when it's on a standard bun, make sure the hairs, it is sort of quite greasy because we need it to stick. Okay. Now there's a couple of things that you can use to create a bun shape. You can either go, depending on how thick the hair is, so you've got different things that you can use. So you've got donuts come in various sizes. We've got, this is a small one. We do have bigger ones as well. But we also have the wraparams as well, which I really like them. You roll it, put it into a ponytail and roll it up. So I'll show you how to use one of them as well. Okay. So, also, nice comb. Don't buy expensive comb because you end up, I use this a lot for when I'm putting the glue and the hairspray on, and I use the back end of it to sleek everything down so it keeps it nice and still. You can also use a hairdryer, and I'm going to show you how to do curl and then potentially put a curl up as well. Okay, so taking that in. Like I say, Kate doesn't really like her hair flat against her head. Okay, so firm the parting down the centre, or as close to the centre as you can get. If it needs to be amended for the centre,
I also like my hair quite plain. I don't like too much going on, so that tends to be what I go with, is just a plain pig bun. With probably just some like diamantes and stuff like that in. But however, you can just use this basis, especially like all the products and that, to create more creative hairstyles if that's what you like. But yeah, I tend to just like sleek, pulled back, not too much going on, and yeah.
Okay, so have a look to make sure that comes through to the centre, so it's close to the.
Try again.
You have to spin around a
I must spin it. Oh.
Again.
Want me to do it? That's better.
There we go. Right. Okay. So what I tend to do now is just give it a little bit of a spray. Just prepare that for me. So now we've got the parting sorted, so to speak, on there. It just helps make the hair just a little bit more pliable. And more importantly, spray the top so you get a really good flat basis. Like I said, Kate doesn't like hair coming straight back from her front. So I always make sure, if that's what you don't want it sort of pinned straight back, I always make sure that we push it down towards the front. You can see there, look, so it covers the front of her head. So it then brings it down rather than bringing it up, okay? Bit of Bonnie Boat playlist in the background for you. If anyone's on Spotify. Oh, yeah. Don't worry too much about the little bits at the ends across the neckline, because this is where the glue comes into play, okay? Nice and tight. Hold the hair in place whilst you're putting the bobble in as well. Try and get the bobble as tight as you can. Okay. So it should be nice and flat towards the front, but not slicked back, as in straight across the back of the head. Give it another quick go with the water if you can.
Oh, I went down my back.
Get a bath as well. Kidding. Sorry, Kate. That was a sorry, not sorry.
Who said that this was going to be comfy?
Right, so you've got a few options. Now we're going into a ponytail. I personally like to give it a little bit of a go over with the spray already. But I always get sticky hands. Down the middle, really important that the middle gets done. So where you put your parting down, spray either side and just flatten it down, because it starts to collect on the hair. Okie doke. So that it keeps then the hair nice and flat to the head where it comes through the parting. So, two options and a standard bun. You can either use the donut, puts in, and it goes through the into the ponytail. Kate's only got really thin, she's got a lot of it, but it's only really, really thin. Okay, comes in from there, her head goes down, and you create then a nice little circle.
Let's create a very nice double chin as well.
Okay, Kate's got a lot of hair, but like I said, it's only thin. So from there, what you would do if you were just using a normal donut, get another bobble, and then put the bobble over the donut, okay, so it fastens it around. And from there, you can then mess around and make sure the donut's fully covered with the hair. Now, you don't have to have it so tight if you don't want to. You can relax the hair a little bit. But for her, like I said, because Kate's got quite long hair, she always has a little bit of excess in there as well. Okay, doke. So from there, I normally brush that and I plait it. So you can either do one big plait, you can do a couple of little plaits, whichever really. Nice little plait through. It's about time the boys our gentlemen also like to do hairs, so get them plaiting.
Yeah.
So as it comes round, and you would tuck it under. Kate's goes all the way around, we are quite lucky. So it just sets it off the head a little bit, if you can see. So it just sets it away from the head a little bit. One, it makes it a little bit more comfortable, ladies, because then you haven't got so many pins jigging straight into your skull, it feels like, to be honest. And it also stops you getting a headache from the pins. A bit journey. So it comes in and then press, and obviously then, and to be fair, I mean, normally I would now do Kate's hair, I don't use that many pins, to be quite honest. I tend to do the side, and I always go in and up, because that way it keeps everything solid. Now what you can do from there is make it nice and tidy from there. Look, that's on a standard donut. Okay, so it keeps everything nice, and the top's nice and done, and we can go from there. We've made a really good base. Okay, so from that bit on there, so that's on a standard donut. If you have got a little bit wispy hair, you can get a hairnet. Get them in different colours. They normally do 2 or 3 in a packet. They're the ones I tend to use. You can buy them online. But it just keeps everything in place, okay? So if you wanted to use the roll-up ones, which actually I do prefer, to be quite honest, it gives it a different shape as well.
Yeah, you can change the shapes and stuff, can't you?
So from here, take the bobble out, take the other bottom bobble out across that, and you just slip the donut off, and you've just got a straight ponytail. So that is a really easy hair to change between ballroom and Latin. So certainly if you want to have a different style for the Latin and just have a straight ponytail, you can do that, and it works really, really nicely. But it gives plenty of volume at the back and a little bit something. You can play with the extra hairs. I normally have little things coming round and I pin it round or use the glue. Another one, and I do prefer these, I've got to say, only because Kate's hair is quite thin. And I like the different shape it gives, because it gives like a little horseshoe but with a flat bottom. Is you push it through as if you're going to do a ponytail, take it to the bottom and start to roll up. This does normally take 2 people to do this one. Oh, you can't do it on your own, so to speak. And it clips in just a little press stud. And I can find it. There we go. Now, Kate's hair's dried up quite quickly. Now on these ones, I've got a built-in bobble, so you pull it and take it over the top. Okay, and again, you just bring the hair around where you want it. But this does cover it, so certainly if you've got a lot of hair, it does take more hair, because you've got, again, different sizes. And because it's a roll up, you can keep applying. Okay, so from there, I think this gives it a little bit more of a classic look. Okay, so it creates a little bit more of a shape to it, because it makes it almost like a flat bottom rather than it going all the way around. So again, you can hairnet for this if you wanted to. Kate's doesn't normally need that much of a hair netting, to be quite honest. So as we're coming back through on there, sorry, phones are going off like mad this morning. So as you're coming into that, so if you wanted to hairnet, you can hairnet. I always go, because obviously you've got 2 little ends, if you can see there. I always put one to the bottom first, up if you can, and you can either twist it or you can just keep it in to pin it. Okay. That's really the only time I ever go down on the pins. Okay, so that's a different type of bun. So she turns around, as you can see, it gives it a different shape because it flattens the bottom, but again it keeps it off the head. Okie doke. So it keeps it nice and away. Stops the headaches if we're setting and you've got them in for a long time. But easily, it's quick enough to change around to go from ballroom into Latin. And it also saves with the hairnets as well. Okay. So all you do then, again, is untwist it, unclip, and unroll. Because it's on a roll, it gives I think on that one, it gives the ponytail a little bit more of a bit of freedom, a bit of movement as well. It sort of brings it up a little bit more. Okay. Other options is, and I do tend to do these quite a lot, is have a plait. So again, but it tends to be if you plait, we tend to keep them in hairnets. So you can't really then twist it too much to go between dances. So if you're going to do something anything like that with a bit of body in it, again, for instance, if I did a quick plait through, and you can do it up like almost like a little French pleating. That does need a little bit more of regards to the spin round the other way. And I tend to then use more of a hairnet for these ones because it keeps the little stray hairs in and settled. So you've got a little bit more of an action with regards to being able to move it around a little bit to put it and pull it into different shapes. And that's where your pins and your dolly pins, do a little different pin, then come into play as well. Because they can go across the bobbles, etc. as well. So again, I personally I like the fact of you can create different shapes with this one, as I tend to do it, so it comes off the hair, off the head. And you tend to use then the hairnet to secure rather than the actual hair itself. So you can create much more volume with regards to things, because obviously we're using the hairnet to pin rather than right. So once you've decided what you want, I'll take these out. So that's a different option. So again, all I've done there is put a plait in, and then I've put the hairnet in, and because the hairnet takes the weight of the bun and the hair, you can then start to manipulate the hair around. So the plait soon changes shape to go from just a standard plait in a straight line to be, and I've not done anything else with it, it is still a plait. All I've done is popped it up, put the hairnet up and around it, and then started to pin the very top of the hairnet, and then you can start to move the hair around. It then creates a little bit more move, but it stays secure. So it gives it it looks different on the floor. Okay. So the other thing is then, so if I take this out, always keep your hairpins. I always have a bag with hairpins, hair bobbles to the side, unless it's Tara's hair and I need about 1,000. She's got thick hair. Okay, and as you've just seen, I've put an extra bobble in that That's just off one bubble and it's just on one plait. Okay, so the next thing to do is to make it nice, sleek and shiny and holding in. Alright, so this is where two things come into play. You use the glue hairspray. So on that again, Home Bargains is the best place to buy it from. About £2 something or other, I think it is, about £2.79ish, something like that. But I use the back of a standard comb, okay, because with it being the type of hairspray it gets really sticky. Okay. And again, what I do then is I work from the bottom up. So I always really give the bottom bit, because they're the ones normally with a little wispy hairs. And then I work my way up and around the ponytail first, or the bun, if it was to be a standard bun. And pull it in. Okay. And then put the head back.
My eyes! My mouth.
Doesn't taste very nice, does it? Drink, please. And again, using the same principle. Push down. Even on these little wispy bits, and if it comes to it,
I have a lot of baby hair.
Spray the back of the comb and use the comb. Try and use the comb as much as you can. Certainly if you're dancing and then you've got your dresses to touch, etc, etc, so it just makes it a little bit easier. Alright? So if I was to just put this into a normal ponytail, Shakira, baby. So once that's done, finishing touches. So we're on the top here, okay. We're showing two different types of buns of two different, whether it's donuts, etc. to go through. The next little secret ingredient is this. Best thing ever. Okay, spray it on your hands. It's a little gel. It's John Frieda's Frizzies, but we use it to actually make sure it goes really quite nice and sleek and slick on the hair. Well, you don't need to then hair dry the hair, but I always start from the, if you have a parting, start from the parting and put your hands across so it comes with the hair and all the way up, and you don't really need an awful lot, to be quite honest, and it gives the hair a really lovely shine.
I'm shining like a trophy.
Shining like all the trophies you're all going to be winning when we get back onto the comp floor. And then I take it through to the ponytail, and it just makes it just so easy to handle.
It even worked on Sam's hair.
Yeah, I use this a lot. I use this on everyone's hair. I did it for Blackpool. And there is not a hair in movement. Everything is sleeked down with the shine, which I don't think you're going to be able to. Oh, you might. There you go. You can see it. There you are. Look at that glow. Look at the glow. And again, it creates a shade. It creates a light. Certainly when the lights hit for the competition floor. So that's first one. We are going to do some makeup ones as well, and I'm also just going to do another one where you can curl the hair and pin the curls. Okay, again, it gives it a different look. So see you all soon. Bye.